Gyanakosha, an encyclopedia of Vedic knowledge by Pact. Vedas. Rig Veda. Hymns on Agni. Mandala 3.
ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिद्वेदसादनम्
In Mandala 3, Sukta 1, Vishwamitra and Gatinha in Trishtup meter in the Sukta 1 visualized Agni in nearly more than 23 rigs. Might be the biggest hymn on Agni by Vishwamitra. Here they say in Trishtup, Thou Agni, who wilt have the strong, hast made me the Soma's priest to worship in assembly. Thou shinest to the gods, I set the pressed stones. I toil, be joyful in thyself, O Agni. East have we turned the right, may the hymn aid it. With wood and worship shall they honor Agni. From heaven the synods of the wise have learnt it, because for the quick and strong they seek advancement. The prudent, he whose will is pure, brought welfare, allied by birth to heaven and earth in kinship. The gods discovered in the midst of waters, beautiful Agni with the sisters labor. Him, blessed one, the 7 strong floods augmented, him white at birth and red when waxen mighty, as mother Mars run to their newborn youngling. So at his birth the gods wondered at Agni, spreading with radiant limbs throughout the region, purging his power with wise purifications, robing himself in light, the life of waters, light spreads abroad his high and perfect glories. He sought heaven's mighty ones, the unconsuming, the unimpaired, not clothed and yet not naked. Then they, ancient and young, who dwell together, 7 sounding rivers, as one germ received him. His piles, assuming every form, are scattered where flow sweet waters at the spring of vastness. There stood the milch kine with full leaden udders, and both paired mighty mothers of the wanderers. Carefully cherished, son of strength, thou shonest, assuming lasting and refulgent beauties. Full streams of fatness and sweet juice descended there where the mighty one grew strong by wisdom. From birth he knew even his father's bosom. He set his voices and his streams in motion, knew him who moved with blessed friends in secret with the young dames of heaven. he stayed not hidden. He nursed the infant of the sire and maker. Alone the babe sucked many a teeming bosom. Guard for the bright and strong, the fellow spouses friendly to men and bound to him in kinship. The mighty one increased in space unbounded. Full many a glorious flood gave strength to Agni. Friend of the house, within the lap of order, lay Agni in the sister river's service. As keen supporter, where great waters gather, light shudder, whom the brood rejoice to look on. He who begat and will beget the dawn light's most manly child of floods is useful Agni. Him, varied in his form, the lovely infant of floods and plants the blessed wood hath gendered. Gods even, moved in spirit, came around him and served him at his birth, the strong, the wondrous. Like brilliant lightings, mighty luminaries accompany the light diffusing Agni. Waxen, as it were in secret, in his dwelling, while in the boundless star they milk out Amrita. I sacrificing serve thee with oblations and crave with longing thy goodwill and friendship. Grant with the gods thy grace to him who lauds thee, protect us with thy rays that guard the homestead. May we, O Agni, thou who leadest wisely thy followers and masters of all treasures, strong in the glory of our noble offspring, subdue the godless when they seek the battle. And sign of gods hast thou become, O Agni, joy giver, knower of all secret wisdom, friend of the homestead, thou hast listened mortals, carbon thou goest to the gods fulfilling. Within the house hath sat the king immortal of mortals, filling full their sacred synods, bedewed with holy oil, he shineth widely. Agni, the knower of all secret wisdom, come unto us with thine auspicious friendship, come speeding, mighty with thy mighty succors. Grant us abundant wealth that saves from danger, that brings a good repute, a glorious portion. To thee, who art of old this song, O Agni, have I declared the ancient and the later. These great libations to the strong are offered in every birth, is Jatadeva established. Established in every birth is Jatadvedas, kindled perpetual by the Vishwamitras. May we rest ever in the loving kindness, in the auspicious grace of Him the Holy. This sacrifice of ours do thou, O mighty, O truly wise, bear to the gods rejoicing. Grant us abundant food, thou priestly herald. Vouchsafe to give us ample wealth, O Agni. As holy food, Agni, to thine invoker give wealth in cattle, lasting rich in marvels. To us he born a son and spreading offspring. Agni, be this thy gracious will to use word. Shukta 2 of Mandala 3. Again Vishwamitra and Ganithina in Jagati meter hailed Agni as to him Vaivasvara who strengthens holy law. To Agni we present our praise like oil made pure. With thoughtful insight, human priests bring him anear, our herald from of old, as an axe forms a car. He made the heaven and earth resplendent by his birth. Child of two mothers, he was to meet to be implored. Agni, oblations bearer, gracious, ever young, infallible, rich in radiant light, the guest of men. Within the range of their surpassing power, by might, the gods created Agni with inventive thought. I, eager to win strength, address him like a steed, resplendent with his brilliance, with his ample light. Eager to gain, we crave from him the friendly, God strength confident, choice worthy, meet to be exalted. The Bhrigu's bounty, willing, strong with sages, Lord, even Agni shining forth with light that comes from heaven. For happiness, men, having trimmed the sacred grass, set Agni glorious for his strength before them here. Yea, with raised ladles, him bright, dear to all the gods, perfecting aims of works, Rudra of Solomon rides. Around thy dwelling place, O brightly shining priest, are men at sacrifice, whose sacred grass is trimmed. Wishing to do thee service, Agni, they are there, desirous of thy friendship, grant them store of wealth. He hath filled heaven and earth and the great realm of light, when at his birth the skilful held him in their hold. He like a horse is led forth to the sacrifice sage, graciously inclined that he may win us strength. Honor the oblation bearer, him who knows fair rights, serve we the household friend, who knows all things that be. He drives the chariot of the lofty ordinance. Agni, most active, is the great high priest of gods. They who are free from death fain for him purified three splendors of the mighty Agni, circling all. To man for his enjoyment one of these they gave, the other two have passed into the sister sphere. Man's sacrificial foot has sharpened like an axe for brightness, him the sage of men, the people's lord. Busied with sacred rites, he mounts and he descends. He hath laid down his vital germ within these worlds. He stirs with life in wombs dissimilar in kind, born as a lion or a loudly bellowing bull. Vivasvara, immortal, with wide-reaching might, bestowing goods and wealth on him who offers gifts. Vivasvara, as of old, mounted the cope of heaven, heaven's ridge well greeted by those skilled in noble songs. He as of old, producing riches for the folk, still watchful, traverseth the common way again. For new prosperity we seek to Agni, him whose curse is splendid, whose course is splendid, gold-haired, excellently bright, whom Matasirva's son established, dweller in the heaven, meet for high praise and holy, sage and true to law, as pure and shift of course, beholder of the light, who stands in heaven's bright sphere, a sign who wakes at dawn, Agni, the head of heaven, whom none may turn aside to him, the powerful with mighty prayer we seek. The cheerful priest, the pure in whom no guile is found, friend of the house, praiseworthy, dear to all mankind, fair to behold for beauty like a splendid car. Agni, the friend of men, we ever seek for wealth. In 15 riks in Sukta 2, Vishwamitra has held him. In Sukta 3, Vishwamitra again in Jagati meter hailed Agni as to him who shines afar, Vivasvara, shall bards give precious things that he may go on certain paths. For Agni the immortal serves the deities and therefore never breaks their everlasting laws. He wondrous envoy goes between the earth and heaven, firm seated as the herald, great high priest of men. He compasses with rays the lofty dwelling place Agni, sent forward by the gods, enriched with prayer. Sages shall glorify Agni with earnest thoughts and sign of sacrifice, who fills the snoid full, in whom the singers have stored up their holy acts. To him the worshipper looks for joy and happiness. The shades of sacrifice, great god of holy bards, Agni, the measure and the symbol of the priest, hath entered heaven and earth, the show in varied form. The sage whom many love rejoiceth in his might. Bright Agni, with the bright car, lord of green domains, Vaivasvara dweller in the floods, who finds the light, pervading, swift and wild, encompassed round with powers. Him very glorious have the gods established here. Agni, together with the gods and Manu's folk by thought, extending sacrifice in varied form, goes airborne to and fro with those who crown each rite, the fleet, the household friend, who turns the curse aside. Sing, Agni, for long life to us, and noble sons, teem thou with plenty, shine upon us store of food. Increase the great man's strength, thou ever vigilant, thou longing for the gods, knowest their hymns full well. The mighty one, lord of the people and their guest, the leader of their thoughts, devoted friend of priests, our Solomon writes, announcer, Jatavedas, men with worship, ever praise, with urgings for their weal. Agni, the god resplendent, giver of great joy, hath on his lovely car encompassed the lands with might. Let us, with pure laudations, in his house approach the high laws of the nourisher of multitudes. I celebrate thy glories, O Vaivasvara, where with thou, O far-sighted God, hast found the light. Thou filledst at thy birth both worlds, the earth and heaven. All this, O Agni, hast thou compassed of thyself. By his great skill the sage alone hath brought to pass a great deed, mightier than Vaivasvara wondrous acts. Agni sprang into being, magnifying both his parents, heaven and earth, rich in prolific seed. In Sukta 5, Vishwamitra and Trishtupmita visualized Agni as Agni who shines against the dawns in vacant, the holy singer who precedes the sages with far spread lustre, kindled by the pious, the priest hath thrown both gates of darkness open. Agni hath waxen mighty by laudations, to be adored with hymns of those who praise him. Loving the varied shows of holy order, at the first flush of dawn he shines as envoy. Amid men's homes hath Agni been established, fulfilling with the law, friend, germs of waters. Loud and adorned, the height he hath ascended, the singer, object of our invocations. Agni is Mitra when enkindled duly, Mitra as priest, Varuna, Jatadevas, Mitra as active minister and house friend, Mitra of flowing rivers and mountains. The earth's, the bird's dear lofty place he guardeth. He guardeth in his might the course of Surya, guardeth the seven-headed in the center, guardeth sublime the deity's enjoyment. The skillful God, who knows all forms of knowledge, made for himself a fair form, meet for worship. This Agni guards with care that never ceases the Sonia's skin, the bird's place rich in fastness. Agni hath entered longly the longing shrine, rich with fatness, giving easy access. Resplendent, pure, sublime, and purifying. Again and again he renovates his mothers, born suddenly by plants he grew to greatness, when tender shoots with holy oil increased him. Like waters lovely when they hasten downward, may Agni in his parents' lap protect us. Extorted, the strong shone forth with kindled fuel to earth's center, to the height of heaven. May Agni, friend, adorable, Mother Sirvaswan, an envoy bring the gods unto our worship. Best of all luminaries, lofty Agni, supported with his flame the height of heaven. When far from Bhrugu's, Mother Sirvan kindled the oblation bearer where he lay in secret. As holy food, Agni, to thine invoker, give wealth in cattle, lasting rich in marvels. To us be born a son and spreading offspring. Agni, be this thy gracious will to us word. Vishwamitra in Shukta 6 in Trishtup meter visualized Agni and urged on by deep devotion, O ye singers, bring pious ones the God reproaching ladle. Borne onward to the right it travels eastward, and filled with oil to Agni bears oblation. Thou at thy birth didst fill both earth and heaven, yea, most adorable, thou didst exceed them. Even through the heavens and through the earth's expanses, let thy swift seven-tongued flames roll on, O Agni. Both heaven and earth and gods who should be worshipped establish thee as priest for every dwelling. Whenever human families, God devoted, bringing oblations, Lord, thy splendid luster. Firm in the God's home is the mighty seated, between vast heaven and earth the well-beloved. Those cows who yield unharmed their nectar, spouses of the far strider, every young united. Great are the deeds of thee, the great O Agni, thou by thy power hast spread out earth and heaven. As soon as thou wast born, thou wast as an envoy, thou mighty one was leader of the people. Bind to the pole with cords of holy order the long man ruddy steeds who sprinkle fatness. Bring hither, O thou God, all gods together, provide them noble worship, Jatadevas. Even from the sky thy brilliant lights shone hither, still hadst thou beamed through many a radiant morning, that the gods praise their joyous heralds labor, eagerly burning, Agni in the forest. The gods who take delight in earth's wide region are those the dwellers in heaven's realms of brightness. Are those the holy prompt to hear, our helpers who ear-borne turn their horses hither, Agni? With these borne on one ear, Agni, approach us, or borne on many, for thy steeds are able. Bring with their dames the gods, the 33, after thy godlike nature, and be joyful. He is the priest at whose repeated worship even wide heaven and earth sing out for increase. They fair and true and holy coming forward stand at his sacrifice who springs from order. As holy foot, Agni, to thine invoker give wealth in cattle, lasting rich in marvels. To us be born a son and spreading offspring. Agni, be this thy gracious will to us word, Om.